doesn't really know, and I don't think that it's appropriate right now to really tell him.
Yeah,
little. He doesn't need to.
Right,
He doesn't understand.
But I guess it's kind of like finding that balance and then kind of dealing with it, because I know, but he doesn't know.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of difficult sometimes.
Yeah. That's good, because you still come up on weekends that he has them. Like, you don't wait until only see him on his free weekends, right? Because you want to develop that relationship with him, right?
Right.
That's
so
good.
I thought that was important.
Yeah.
And I used to always ask him, like, does he really like me? And so I was telling him the other day, to get to the point, like, I don't really care about him being there or not, because, like, I miss him when he's not around.
Yeah.
I think that's important in developing that relationship. But also, I guess the relationship with his child's mother is also another dynamic that comes into play as well. Because we have conversations about this. Like, I don't want to necessarily disrespect her. Because I don't see myself. Well, I know I'm not here just for the time being.
Right.
Yeah. So this is not just a relationship that I'm going to have for now. Like, it's a relationship I'm going to have for forever.
Right.
And so I don't want to do anything that's necessarily going to disrespect her, and I don't want to do anything to her that I wouldn't want to be done with me if she was on the other foot. So I guess getting him to necessarily understand that, and like you said, I'm on the side of right. So I definitely tell him, what's right, not necessarily her, if it's her or him or whatever.
You're able to separate the two.
Yes, definitely. Because at the end of the day, it's not about him. It's not about her.
It's about him. Absolutely.
It's about him.
I agree 100%. It is about the child. At the end of the day, you have to find out. And it's hard. It's hard when you're trying to co-parent and, there's difficulties within that co-parenting, or you don't see eye to eye. You don't see eye to eye maybe on schooling. You may not see eye to eye on, different things. Punishment, those things you have to work through that, and especially when you're young, because I had Gabbie young, so I understand that dynamics between trying to say, but I don't know, I was a control freak, so it's like my way. This is what we're doing. She's going to this school. This is what she does at school. I was like, my parent, but don't be like that. I don't encourage that. I just think you have to communicate. It's good. Jeremy, you guys, I love that you guys are young, all of you, and you got the basics, to have a successful relationship, and it's good, because I give credit to parenting, your moms, your dads, whatever, because all that factors in. You don't just get to this age and just be like, I know to do these. It's life experiences that help you along the way. And,
And that's really dope of you, Cortney, but seriously, because I'm sitting here listening like, wow. Gabbie and I, like, neither one of us have children or at all. So I was supposed to say outside the relationship. We don't have kids at all. So it's just like,
I'm trying to get some. She's like,
no,
we're living our best life.
I'm living my best life. Don't be trying to have them. I'm not ready for a little person. I'm trying to get these gains. I need to be thin. It's just all these things. Anyway, so I was listening. I was just like, wow, like, that's so good.
But it's like, how can I say that I love this man, but I say I don't love his child?
Right.
No, I know that one.
It doesn't, and I know it, and I know, because I have friends who struggle with that when they dated someone who had a child, and not necessarily. And I remember having a conversation saying, "Is it the mom that you don't like?"
Right.
Because there are moms who are nice and can make you feel, not that because she's his ex, just because she's a bitch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying Joe's is. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
So you don't take it out on the kid, though.
Right.
Learn to love him for separate, because he's not. They're two separate relationships. Don't take what you go through with the mom, because baby mamas can be a pill.
Yeah.
I was a good baby mom because I didn't really care. Because I think for me, when there are no feelings there's no drama.
Yeah.
I think once the feelings are gone, you have less era for drama and issues and things like that. So once I was done, I was done. I don't care. I invite you and your new girlfriend to the recital. Yeah. Both of y'all can come. I don't care.
Make sure you bring a gift.
And you come to the party, whatever it was. I didn't care. And to this day, you can still bring whoever you want, because I knew I was done with that relationship. So I didn't give any drama to it. So I think it's great that you.
I know, because I know I was scared. I'm scared of that. That's just me personally, because I'm just afraid of, like, the other aspect of, not the kid, because obviously those are two separate relationships, but figuring out, like, finding your place within that whole, because that's an established family, and then you're about to become a blended family. Yeah. So trying to make sure you feel comfortable, and like it's like you're not disrespecting her, but make sure she's also not disrespecting you.
Right.
Because you are about to be his. You like you said, you're not always going to be boyfriend and girlfriend.
Right.
You love each other. You want to become husband and wife at some point. Mm-hmm. So there has to be a boundary. So
that just goes to me. I was just thinking like that just goes to show like you're just a strong woman, because you're like, all right, I'm about to take this on. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take you, your son, your baby mother. Hopefully we can get along. We can do this co-parenting thing, and we gonna rock out like that. Yes, because I know I'm like, dang, that's all really sitting over here like, wow, like,
I'm not.
Because we're not there. We're not there. But we are. Well, at least I'm there. I can admit it. That's why. So when people who do have those type of relationships similar to you guys, I'm like, wow. Y'all really doing it.
And it's a great thing. So
it is.
I love it. So we're going to be closing out soon. I want to talk about, let's go to deal breakers. So in every relationship, it don't have to be like, even now, you probably can have deal breakers now, but I know you all are on the verge of, both couples are on the verge of being married, getting engaged and all that good stuff. Uh-huh. But even before, this relationship, what were some of your deal breakers when you're like just dating? Like I had a girlfriend, she hated a guy the way he cut his food. Like if he didn't hold his
what? That's crazy.
She's like, hold his hands, not even fork. Like he was doing like this. It's like was like, and he was like chopping it like, and she's like, I can't do it again. It's over. It's done.
I think
that was a deal breaker. So everybody had their own little deal breakers. It may be something as silly as that. When you're in your early 20s.
Jeremy's deal breaker was people with daddy issues.
Oh,
that's how you know the communication is high level.
I think it was that. I don't know what I'm trying to think of. Like a legit. I hate a guy who smacks. Like he smacks his food. I don't want to hear you smacking your food. So, but I don't think I had like a legit.
No, I don't know. Deal breaker though.
I know. I'm trying to think.
Can you not? I have issues with you not picking your glass up off the table.
You're weird though.
So it's not a deal breaker.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no. All
right. Well, do you have a deal breaker?
Aside from cheating, we know that's a deal breaker.
I mean,
for maybe and for some people.
When I was younger, it might have been like. I don't know that I was mature enough to handle a relationship similar to what you guys have. So for me, that might have been a deal breaker. But now that I'm in my late 20s, if I were single, I would go into whatever relationship understanding that my significant other might have a child.
Right.
So that was, but when I was in my early 20s, I was like, I'm 21.
I ain't trying to deal with that.
I don't know if I'm trying to be a stepmom. I'm trying to hit this club real quick.
So what are some of your deal breakers?
So in my early 20s, it would be like people that I guess text weird.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
So androids. That sounds really.
Cortney just stated everybody who don't have an iPhone. Your text just came back green. We're not gonna be able to do that.
If you're texting like it's 2000, 1999, like with the lingo and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. No.
Or, use your words. You want to use your words?
Yes, like no. Now, before we started dating seriously, I would say it would be religion.
Okay.
So if you were not a believer, then no.
Oh my God, yes, that's the same thing.
And I tried, and I was like, no.
No, so before I started dating Jeremy, look at you, Cortney, just reminded me. Before I started dating, like literally like 2 weeks or so before I started dating Jeremy, I was dating this other guy, and he was cool, it's like outgoing, had his stuff together, had a job, all this other stuff, and we talking, and he comes up and he says he's an atheist. I said, I said, so you just walking out here unprotected by the Lord? You're not scared? A demon could attack you. He can get all up in there. You're already in there. You have the shield of the Lord protecting you.
Did you call up our pastor? Did you?
Yes. And I asked him about that. I said, can whatever is floating around him be transferred to me? Because I just want to know, because I believe in the Lord, and I just want to make sure my shield is all the way around. Like there's no dents, there's no cracks. I'm not trying nothing like seep in there. And he was like, no, Gabbie, I mean, well, like the vibes that you can, those vibes can be transferred over to you and everything like that. And I was like, we gonna fade out of this. We're gonna ghost that one right there. And then, but luckily, then I met Jeremy like the next week. So I was like, this is an easy fade. Let's go ahead, push that over there.
So, what's some of your deal breakers, Jeremy, and then
daddy issues?
So in the beginning,
you don't know yourself.
I used to have like a little book.
Not one of those.
I used to have a nice little game plan. Definitely.
That's because Jeremy's a Virgo. Y'all gotta watch out for that.
I'm very
analytical.
I like to be proactive. So I use that same kind of logic to my dating. So as it relates to my number one was definitely daddy issues or like mother issues, some kind of like issue with your family dynamic.
Some type of family issue.
But it wasn't just that; it had to be that you didn't resolve it. Because it was always like situations where the girl would just have issues and it's like so demanding of me of this, and this, and I'm like, that's not gonna work for me. And then they would say like, well, my father's not in my life, and it's just like you need to step up to the plate. I'm like, well, I'm not your dad,
right? Yeah.
And then like I can't like fix that, and I'm not about to come into this relationship and like mold y'all together, fix that, and then not work on our relationship.
You're not trying to fill that void,
yeah,
right?
I'm not doing all that.
Yeah, right.
I also like deal breakers for me. I didn't want a girl that was too girly, and I didn't want a girl that was a tomboy. So I need.
But then you end up with a girly girl.
I'm not a girly girl.
Really, like, no, because I've dealt with chicks that was like full blown shop till you drop. And like, I want you to go to the store with me, shop till you drop, kind of thing. And it's just like that's not necessarily my vibe. Like, I don't want to do that. Way they talk. I mean, I do kind of in my earlier days. I'm only 27, so. But in my earlier days, I did like that kind of like.
You like them ghetto girls?
Not ghetto. But like that kind of like language that
he liked the ghetto girls.
So like that's okay for me. I didn't like.
Well, that's not a deal breaker. That's what you like.
But it was like if it was too
ghetto,
too hood. It was just too ghetto. Or it's like too loud. Like Jeremy, come in. It's like no, that's not cool. I can't bring you home talking like that. You gotta tighten up. So I mean stuff like that. I mean I didn't really. Like, of course, like, religion, like, that was just non-negotiable. Like, you had to believe in God. Like, that was just the basis.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't have that, like, it was just like, all right, you're not even rapping. I never encountered an atheist or nobody that believed, so.
I did. I was like, oh, no.
How about you,
really
Eddie?
Stripped off that.
I would say mine is religion and respect. I know growing up, my mom was tight on respect. So, like, if you can't respect me and what I got going on, then what do we have that's going to grow from that? So, like, the way you talk to me, the way you carry yourself, do you respect yourself? Like, that shows that you don't respect me if you don't carry yourself with respect. So, I would say those two were my deal breakers.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Look at that. Okay, so we didn't talk about everything. We didn't talk about kids. We talked about social media. We didn't get to the 10 Commandments. That's okay. I'm going to say that for my show with my girlfriend.
Okay.
The Kiki crew.
That's okay. We kikied it up with y'all. Y'all did a good show. I'm so excited that you guys came on. I thank you so much.
This is good.
I didn't even get a chance to really talk about how y'all keep y'all spark going because I didn't want to make y'all feel uncomfortable. So I kind of just
I mean, we can talk about it now. We still got time.
Oh, you still got a few minutes?
Yeah.
Like
Well, I can kick that part off because before we started, Mommy, or maybe it was on here, we were talking about how you gotta know that person's love language, and that kind of like flows into this too. But like, Jeremy is like PDA. Like, he needs me to like, hey, Jeremy. Like,
You touched me this whole entire thing.
I didn't touch him with this whole entire podcast. We leave, he be like, so why you ain't like, why didn't you touch me? Like, what's going on? Like, I would get those type of conversations, but for me, I don't need that. Like, a little kiss, a little bit of affection here and there. But I need you to say, Gabbie, like, you look really nice today. Like, I really missed you. Like, I need words.
Full blown BCR, essay, dissertation, everything.
I need words of affirmation. And so, if you're not giving me that, there's no spark. There's no nothing. There's no excitement. Don't be trying to be like, oh, hey, Gabbie. It's like, no, I need something before. We can't just jump into it. We need something to rev the engines up, and you gotta make sure. But it gotta be consistent. Like, I need I was missing you today. I'm like, you miss me.
It has to be a beginning, a climax, like something to set up the scene, everything. Like, that's what she needs.
Yeah.
She's her mama child.
I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
And then